If you're looking for exclusive content, please don't look any further than joining the Trap Talk Patreon family. Some of the best reptile keepers in this industry are part of the Trap Talk Patreon family. As soon as you join the Patreon family, you connect to a Discord. You can also tap into an Instagram group chat, connect with some of the most diverse keepers we have in the reptile hobby today. Shout out to my Patreon members and be ready for Trap Fest 2026. It's going to be one of the biggest events yet. Find all information again in the very first link in the description below. And again, thank you so much to all my fellow Patreon members out there.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, the coolest reptile network in the world. Welcome to episode 771. Trap Talk with Lowkey, Boas, Chaz in the building. I am so stoked, man. Love Boas, always have, but I love someone who does right by the Boas and has some serious game, and that's who we have in store with us tonight. Chaz, I'm telling you right now, I've been enjoying this guy's content. We're going to get into it, but listen, I'm your boy MJ. Welcome. This is your first time listening. Do me a favor. If you're enjoying these episodes, hit that like button and also smash that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Select all. You'll be notified of every podcast released at the network 7 days a week. Monday through Sunday, you get a brand new episode right here on the Trap Talk Reptile Network. Shout out to everyone in the chats, man. I see a bunch of people who's ready as much as I am. So, man, shout out to all the support. You guys are awesome, man. Love my Trap fam. And just again, guys, want to remind you that you can listen to all these episodes that I release on YouTube on all major audio platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, all the major ones. So wherever you want to listen to these on audio platforms, please, I recommend it. Go back to some of the beginning episodes. Really appreciate the love and support. Let's get into sponsors. Shout out to tonight's sponsor, Zoomed, #1 reptile brand in the reptile industry, just shy of 50 years now. If you're looking for a next reptile product, don't look any further than going to zoomed.com. See all the latest products in the description below by Zoomed. One of them being the Slither Sense that I like the most right now. So check that out on their website. You can also follow Zoomed on Instagram and also subscribe to their YouTube channel. Shout out to Zoomed and the entire Zoomed team. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by Focus Cube Habitats, #1 PVC enclosures in the game. Everything you see behind me are 3x2x2 PVC design enclosures by Steven and Ashley out of Texas. My whole room is decked out in Focus Cube Habitats at this point. So I love it, man. I'm uniformed, and it's all because of Focus Cube. So, guys, go to FocusCubeHabitats.com. You can select from 30+ different design enclosures on their website, all best for your reptiles, man. So thank you so much, Steve and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by Brian Susan over at SUNDOWN Reptiles. If you're looking to get in kahuas, gargoyle geckos, abronia, tree monitors, this is the place to go check out right now. SundownReptiles.com. Find the link in the description below. Go into his website. We'll tap you into all the projects that Brian has going on. He's one of the biggest, most dedicated reptile keepers I've ever met in this hobby. And he definitely leads by example. So thank you so much, Brian Susan over at SUNDOWN Reptiles. You can also subscribe to SUNDOWN Reptiles on IG. Last but not least, shout out to Workshop Reptilium. Shout out to Josh Hansen. Tomorrow on the Morph Market YouTube channel, I am putting out a vlog after visiting Josh's facility. Some of the nicest bioactive enclosures I've ever seen. Everything he has in his collection is top-notch, fully planted. You guys are telling you don't want to miss this vlog, okay? So go to Morph Market's YouTube channel. Set your reminder. It's going to be dropping tomorrow, 8:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You're going to get a deep dive look into Workshop Reptilium, see what they're all about. And again, I had a real pleasure visiting Josh and Jeff, getting a real deep behind the scenes look of everything that they have going on, and was able to go to Phenom's facility as well and see everything that they have going on with Phenom, which is very exciting. So a lot to come with Workshop Reptilium and Phenom. Stay tuned with all that. But for now, guys, go to Workshop Reptilium on IG and definitely go to Workshop Reptilium on their website as well. And definitely follow Phenom, okay? Because me and Phenom are definitely going to be working close together here in the near future. So thank you so much, Josh Hansen and Jeff over at Workshop Reptilium. And let's see who's here, man. I'm really excited. Let's see if I see any familiar faces. Of course, I know Amanda. What's up, Amanda? Trap Talk patron. Are you ready for Trap Fest? Dude, Trap Fest is next week. The 6th annual Trap Fest, okay? Happening right here at my place. So excited. The guest list this year it just keeps getting better and better, man. Greg Maxwell returning, dude, first and foremost, okay? So shout out to everyone who's ready for Trap Fest. I know Amanda is and her husband. It's going to be awesome. The homie right here, Fuego Chondros, is rolling up to Trap Fest as well. Shout out to the homie Fuego Chondros. My cowboy trapper, Held Coil Pythons in the building. What is up? The homie Tim, Reptile Boys, also pulling up the Trap Fest. Cannot wait to see you, bro. The homie Bosa, Reptiles. What's up, Bosa? Thanks for being here. Lowe's Exotics. What's up, Lowe's Exotics? Thanks for being here. The homie Dickie Foster in the building. What is up? The homie Tony. What's up, Tony? Tony, you come to Trap Fest? You better be coming, Tony. You better pull up, my guy. Let's see, who's this? Mr. Serpents 908. What's up, Mr. Serpents? Thanks for being here. All right, man. Listen, good house, good attendance tonight. You guys are, like I said, Boas. I don't work with Emerald Tree Boas is what I work with, right? But I had a big passion and still do for Boas. The thing is, like everyone else, we always battle the space thing, right? If I could work with everything, Boas would definitely be a part in this projects that I have going on. But I like living through people who are dedicated to the Boas. I know there's going to be a point in my life where I do work with Boas again. And when that time comes, I'm going to be knocking on this dude Chaz's door, okay? Some of the nicest Boas currently worked in the hobby is with this dude right here. Lowkey, I love the name, but his projects are louder than ever, okay? So you guys are in for a treat. I don't want to waste any time because I've been waiting for this episode for a while. So do me a favor. Do what you got to do to get your mind right and do what you got to do to stay hydrated. This is episode 771. Chaz, Lowkey Boas coming at you. Let's go.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, God, love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
And we are live, episode 771. Welcome, Chaz. What's up, buddy?
Thank you for having me, MJ. Thank you so much. I'm stoked to be here, and I can't wait to talk to y'all.
Dude, stoked to have you here, bro. Again, I want to give props to Dave Levison because he's the one that even put you on my radar first and foremost. Just shy about a year, you were on his segment, the Dave Levison podcast. And that's when I saw, I was like, dude, okay, this dude's been around the block. Like, I know the hobby has grown so much over the last 5 years, but to see someone who stuck it out as long as you have and been dedicated to this craft, man, that's what I value the most. And so, again, been following your work pretty heavily over the last few months, and I love your excitement. I love your passion. It all shows simply by you posting what you're doing, and it all seems so authentic, bro. And I got to say, I appreciate authentic content.
Hey, man. Yeah, I just kind of decided when I started to do the social media thing that I was going to wake up every single day and show people my life and show people cool boas and rain, shine. No matter what, whether I'm sick, whatever's going on, I wake up and I just share my passion and my love, and this is where I'm at. So I'm stoked.
Yeah. You know, and okay, so we talked a little bit during sound check. You were obviously into sports, right? Football. You played football at San Diego State, is that right?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And to get to that point of, you know, making it in football, like there's times where, you know, no matter how you feel, you got to show up to practice. You got to show up and do the work. And it's the same with reptiles. You know what I mean? Like, regardless how you feel, if you got a room full of reptiles, you got to show up and you got to do the work. And there's no excuses behind it, because you know how it is, bro. Like these reptiles depend on you to keep them going. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I view it the exact same way as when I was playing football, is that people are depending on me the same way my snakes are depending on me. So every day I wake up, and the fortunate part is that I absolutely love the work portion of it. I think I just made a post about this, but you know, if you can find a passion that you love and enjoy the work while you're doing it, then I honestly never really feel like I'm working. I'm just working towards my goals and working towards where I want to be at. But I love it. I absolutely love it. So,
and you know, I came into this game as far as like a hobbyist. I want to say 2017. And I've like you said, man, like I don't look at this as work. It's therapeutic to me. No matter how bad of a day whatever I was having coming into my room, like all the noise stopped. You know, it was just putting music on and looking at these amazing animals, and it always made my life complete. But I feel like that's what this hobby should always be about, right? Like, isn't this supposed to be like a therapeutic stress breaker for anyone out there? If you really love reptiles, that's what it should be doing to you, would think, right?
Yeah. I mean, the coolest thing is to walk into your facility or your snake room at the end of the day and just enjoy everything that you've worked towards. You know, people have invested a lot of time, a lot of money into this stuff. So if you're not absolutely loving it and you're not absolutely getting something out of it, I feel bad for you, because every single day, like I said, I wake up and I just love it. I love to see the snakes grow. I love to see them breed. It's not just about the babies. It's about, I love raising adult females. I love raising and seeing snakes go through all the stages of development. I love the breeding. I love the babies, but the whole process of it, I'm in love with the whole process of breeding and keeping boa constrictors. And that's what I hope comes through in my content daily.
Yeah, dude. And again, man, like boas just isn't a rollout. Anyone could do this type species. Like you really have to be dialed in. You got to know how to read your animals. You got to know how to feed a boa first and foremost. Because again, ball pythons that's what brought me into the game. And ball pythons is very forgiving. You could almost do anything to this animal and it's still going to breed in a sense. I'm not going to say it's going to be repeat breeding. You know, and there's obviously ways where you can get a female not to be in good shape, but with boas, there's very minimal room for error. And you got to be dialed in. Am I right?
Absolutely. I would say the best trait you can have for boas is to be consistent. You have to consistently put in the work. There's no cheat codes. There's no, you have to raise a healthy, snake for 4 or 5 years. You have to know what you're looking at, the behaviors. You have to regulate the temperature, the humidity, the light scales, all this stuff. You do have to know what you're doing. Some of this stuff you can learn through process of working through it, but to get really, really good, it takes time. It's not something you can do overnight. I hate to say it, but that's what I feel like separates us from some other species. You mentioned ball pythons, is that this it took me a long time to even have a semblance of success in boas and have an idea every single year. That's why I started a subscription page, because even after I've had snakes for 23 years and I've been breeding snakes for well over 15, 16 years now, but every year I still learn something that I'm like, oh, I've never seen this before. This is something new. I've never seen this. Has anyone else seen this? So I'll make a video about it and hopefully try to inform and educate people. So that's where I'm at now, is I'm trying to hopefully pass on some of my failures and successes to everyone, because we all need to get better.
And again, I try not to throw jabs towards the ball python community, because I'm a part of that community. But like ball python, when I first came in, I got the vibe that there was a lot of know-it-alls in the ball python game, like very kind of snobby-ish people. And that's fine. But then when I met people with other species, like they didn't come off as know-it-alls. Like it's like I'd rather be in a position where I'm constantly trying to learn something new versus I feeling like, oh, I figured it out. Like I don't need to put much effort into it anymore. And again, and the ball python game isn't an easy game to be successful at, especially nowadays. Like people can't sell their snake right now. And so, but that's not an issue for everybody. Some people are marketing it right. Some people build, communities within their own communities, and they're doing it right. But it's a lot of work. It's just, it could just be very like the picture could look very easy from outside, but it's really not that easy, No,
I love to talk about this because about 8 or 9 years ago, I changed my business structure and I modeled it after one guy, KINOVA. I literally would study every single facet of his business, of his animals, of his projects, how he did things, how is he successful, and I tried to apply it to my own projects. And you hit the nail on the head with ball pythons. You have to do everything right. Not only do you have to have the cutting edge projects, you have to market yourself. You have to have a good name brand. You have to have great pictures. You have to have a social media account. You have to have it all. Yeah. And on top of it, there is a ton of competition in ball pythons. And that being said, there's a lot of rewards to be had, but you're going to have to fight for it, and you're fighting against thousands of other people. With boas, there is competition. There is a good amount of people doing this, but it's different. I promise you, it's really different. You can come into boas in 3 or 4 or 5 years, really start to make some cool things and really contribute to the hobby in a really positive way. With ball pythons, unless you're really coming with, it's a different market. It's a different species. I chose boas. I absolutely love boas, but there are things that we can learn from other markets. And I've learned a lot from the ball python. I've studied the ball python market like it was a college course. Like I literally studied, how are these guys doing this? How are their projects? What makes their projects so valuable? How can I apply it to boas? So that's what I did. I could talk for an hour about it, but it's fascinating. But I just chose to stick with boas. Like you said earlier, I would love to do ball pythons too, but in order to reach my goal and to be what I really want to be, I just have to focus in on one thing and stay the course and just master it. So that's where I'm at.
And I'll tell you, man, just talking off your work, I'm going to give you a lot of flowers, bro, because I love beautiful boas. And every boa is a beautiful boa, but the lane you created for yourself, I don't see anyone doing what you're doing with boas right now. I really don't. Not to your capacity, bro. Because you see people that are zoned in on maybe 1 or 2 specific projects. You have so much insane stuff going on with all your boa projects. And that's another thing that really, like, something I wanted coming to this hobby is like, what can I be known for? I want to be known for something. And I just wasn't a big baller in the ball python game. I didn't have deep pockets. And that's kind of what you need is you need to have all those tools we just talked about, but you got to have some fucking money. Like, because it's all about that next big trend in the ball python game, which costs money. And a lot of people put in money and then they finally start breeding, but the money they make, most people don't put it back in. And that's what you have to do. You have to continue to reinvest. And it's a never ending cycle. It's like that with boas, I'm sure, but there's so much more meat on the bone in the boas game right now. Like there's like I said, I only see what you're doing currently, bro. And there's nobody else. I'm sure there's people out there, but I'm talking about like, as far as attention grabbing, like what you've done, dude, I'm a huge fan of what you have going on.
I really appreciate that. It was a little bit nervous just deciding to really take more of a step forward into the spotlight. But I truly, you want to know what it was? Is that another ball python guy, AEP.
Miguel. That's my boy.
Miguel.
Yeah. Always.
I literally for years would watch his videos on YouTube. Yeah. And I was fascinated. Like I said, I studied it. Like, what is he doing? What projects? So to break it down, what I took from Miguel, AEP, and KINOVA was they took relatively common enhancing morphs, Orange Dream, Yellow Belly, all this other stuff, and they added in a double, triple, quad recessives. That's exactly the same thing I've done. I've taken bloods, leopards, type 1 anery, and I've mixed them all together. That's how you maintain a high value project. So I still have a lot of work to do, but you know, I appreciate it. It's been, to be really honest with you, before I ever even made a social media account, I had over a decade of literally just struggling, working, trying to fine tune what exactly, who did I want to be? How did I want to do it? And times were hard. Like I had bad years. I had stuff happen, and but I worked through it. I never quit, and that's just literally a dedication or a testament to how much I absolutely love snakes. But yeah, I mean, what I'm doing, to be really honest with you, anybody can do. Like absolutely anyone can do. You're gonna have to work for it. You're gonna have to raise up hets, because that's what I've been doing for years. While a lot of other people were choosing to make more visuals, I was breeding double and double recessives together to make my own projects, because I truly wanted to distance myself and create my own lane. So where it's not only about competition, but I truly wanted to make something brand new. For whatever reason, I'm absolutely fascinated with seeing something new. And it's not even about a world's first. It's just, it's in my mind. And once it's in my mind, I literally can't get it out of my mind. Like, what does a VPI blood leopard look like? What does a VPI blood snow look like? What, like, and until I see it, like, I can't stop. So I'll raise hets. I'll raise normal looking snakes for 4 or 5 years, because I'm not going to stop. And I know it will be worth it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever. If the snake doesn't look that great, then so be it. But you have to do the work in order to get the reward. You absolutely have to do the work. If you're not willing to do the work and take a leap of faith in a new direction, then you're going to be the same as everyone else. I truly believe that. So
yeah, there's so much to unravel here, because your position is very unique, because you had a decade of figuring shit out pre-social media. But the norm now, Chaz, is people come into social media and then they see, oh, there's a reptile hobby. But what matters to them first is social media. And that's fine. You got to know social media. But being a reptile lover should come within. Like, and it's hard to teach someone to love reptiles to your capacity and our capacity of passion. But if you don't have that, I don't know how you're going to last. First and foremost, you hit the nail on the head. When you see someone that gets it, or it's a blossoming love, and you can see them fall in love with it, it sticks out like a sore thumb. I have a friend, a local friend. His name's Josh. He absolutely has it. I can see it in his eyes. I can see how much he wants to make the boas. He wants to be successful. So I encourage it. And I do whatever I can to help out. But if in boas, if you don't really absolutely love it, there's going to be good and bad times. Yeah. And if you don't have the absolutely overwhelming love to get you through the bad times, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. I've had friends that quit. It breaks my heart. I plead with them not to, but you kind of have to stay the course, because you're just really not going to reach any serious level of success without having failures. That's the truth of it. You're going to have slug litters. You're going to have stuff happen. You have to work through it, because you have no other option. That's really what I feel like. You have no other option. If you give up, you'll never be successful. But if you fail, you win. What's better than that? And then you may fail, but you are not going to fail 5 or 6 times. You're going to win. Then you may fail, win, and then you may fail, win, and then you're going to win, and then you're going to win, and then you're going to win, and then you're going. Like you're going. You cannot be stopped. Yeah. And one thing again, I feel like I was told this a lot, throughout playing sports. I was always told, like, it's the journey, like it's all about the journey, right? And of course, like I struggled with a lot, like after high school. When you, and as you know, when you go to that college level, it's a whole nother fucking pond that you're swimming in, right? And I went from being a star high school player to just like, now I'm a red shirt freshman year playing baseball, and I'm the smallest guy on the field. Like, I just felt so out of my league. But all I could think about is like, I had a lot of fears. Instead of just doing the work, I was scared. I was like, I felt automatically like a failure. And that's, I'm sure you felt like that too, like moving up in football, right? But the thing about what we do in the reptile hobby, it could look so pretty and awesome when you don't know somebody. You go to their social media. Like if I didn't know anything much about the reptile game and I were to follow your page, I would think you would have the best fucking life on earth. Even Justin, right? You would think like, whoa, was this guy born with this stuff? But nobody sees the ugly part. Nobody sees the grunt work, okay? The times where you question yourself, like, what the fuck am I even doing? But it's not an option. It's not an option to quit. Like quitting is something you won't do because this is the air you breathe. And I've had some rough moments in my room, dude. I had this female go egg bound and I had to fucking push out 16 eggs out of her. She made it, but that was stressful, dude. Like that sucked. You know what I'm saying? But again, like, are you willing, like you might want our lives, but are you willing to go through the shit that we have gone through? And it's if these animals are living, you're never going to stop going through it. It's always going to happen.
Yeah. And with more animals, more things go wrong, more animals, more problems. But I 100% know what you're and get what you're saying. You just have to absolutely love it. I mean, I think of this in 2018, I had a pretty cool year. I made the first Spectres and I made the first Demons. Spectres are RDR VPIs. Wow. And Demons are type 1 Anery Bloods. And I woke up one morning and I had 3 holdback racks, and one of the holdback racks, I had a thermostat malfunction and it cooked all my 1/3 of my holdbacks. And I remember it like it's yesterday. I literally went to my wife and I was just like, I completely broke down. I was like, I don't know how I can keep doing this. I feel like I take 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and it crushed me. It absolutely crushed me. And thank God, to be honest with you, I wasn't on social media. But to speak to your point, 2 things. I think that I've done a bit of a disservice to maybe people that come across my page, because I have been very fortunate. I have been able to make some really nice snakes and acquire some really nice snakes. But like you just said, I don't share everything. Just because you guys aren't seeing it doesn't mean I'm not having some of the same issues. And that's another reason why I started a subscription service, is because I wanted a better way to be able to reach regular people that are just starting out, because you may see what I'm doing and think this is literally unattainable, but it's not. It may take you 10 years, but if you want to do it, you will absolutely do it. Like anybody could do what I do. Absolutely anybody could do what I do. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to put your heart and soul into it. But on my subscription page, I'll show you the slug litters. I'll show you the stillborns. I'll show you the failed breedings. I'll show you the malfunctions of the heating strips. I'll show you it all, because that's really what it is. From my main page, I've just taken the stance of like, I'm going to try to show you the baddest ass boas because I want to grow the hobby. My main goal is to absolutely overwhelmingly grow the hobby in a very, very similar fashion to what KINOVA Justin's done. That's really my goal, is that the boa hobby has been kind of stagnant for a little bit. It grows a little bit, it shrinks a little bit, but I want it to truly take the next step to where we can at least compete and be closer to ball pythons, because it's an awesome animal. We have awesome morphs. We have so much to offer. And I feel like a lot of people simply shun it because the animals are a little bigger and it's going to take more time to breed. So if I can overwhelm you with how beautiful and how amazing the projects are, that's really been my goal, is like, hey, I'm going to wake up and you're going to see these boas and you're going to see them again and you're going to see them again. And let's go. This is awesome. Let's get into this. You want to get into boas? I'll show you boas. Like I've been trying to have enough passion, or take my love and energy and transfer it out there to where it just grows. Like, we need more people in the hobby. It can't just be. So that's where I'm at. I don't know if it's coming across right, but I hope that it really is.
Yeah, and again, dude, it's transparency it's a dicey game to play, because like I'm pretty outspoken, like good or bad, I like to share it. But when you share the bad, you definitely get a lot of people questioning what you're doing. And that's fine because they just want to know, well, how did that happen? And a lot of things that happen, I'm like, well, you know what? I don't know why that snake just rolled and died. I really don't.
They're out of your hands. Yeah, you come off as looking like you don't know what you're doing. Is you're not an expert. And to be really honest, I've been doing this 23 years. I still don't feel like an expert. Like I talk with my mentor all the time. Like, when am I ever going to feel like I know it? Like I don't. Sometimes things happen. I'm like, what the? But I fine tune something. I see a different behavior. I write it down. I learn, and I don't stop. And I'm a 10 times better person now than I was last year. And it's just every year I'm trying to stack more knowledge. But you kind of got to, like you said, get over the fact of looking like like you don't know what you're doing. That's where I'm at. Like, I don't always know what I'm doing. I'm trying to make an educated decision off of what I know, but I'm just simply trying to take the best possible care of my animals and make the best boas in the world.
Yeah. And again, man, as much as I love this hobby, we need more people more than anything, dude. And it is growing. That's one thing I will say, you know, having a podcast as long as I have, I see the growth. Like, I see the new people messaging me all the time that I never heard of. And then next, you know, it's been a couple years and they're hitting me up about their first clutch. And I love that shit. I'm like, dude, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, it's like, dude, you know, you got to show the good and the bad, like no matter what, because is pretty and perfect everything seems on the outside looking in. There are some crazy testing moments that you will go through no matter what the species is. And, you know, talking about ball pythons, the biggest rude awakening for ball python people was, oh, let me spend all this money to learn how to breed these snakes. And now you bred the snakes, but now what? You got to compete with everyone else on Morph Market who has the exact same combos that you have. And what have you done to separate yourself from the rest of the masses? You know what I mean? And again, like, you know, people are learning that right now the hard way. And that's why a lot of them, and I respect it for it, they're getting into other species. They're
come on over to Boas. Yeah, come on over to Boas. I've encouraged everyone I can, like, give snakes a try. And here's the crazy thing is that you ball python people have a ton of money. It's amazing how much you guys have invested into this. If you took a fraction, and I truly mean a fraction of what you've invested into ball pythons and put into boas, you could have incredible success. You absolutely could make a huge difference. Like, it's there for the taking. Absolutely, it is.
So, you know, obviously keeping boas, well, kind of, I want to take things back a little bit for you, Chaz, because I know on the thumbnail you had with Dave, your little Chaz with a boa constrictor around his neck, you know, you had to be probably what, 6 or 7 in that photo. You were young, dude.
I was 4.
4 years old.
I was 4.
Dude, is it right there behind you?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, in that corner. Yeah, there it is, right there. Here, I have a better idea. Watch this. Check this out, Chaz. I have the episode right here.
Awesome.
So there it is, right there. Okay, so the very first. This is the very first time Chaz has ever been to the network was with Dave Levison, and there he is, right there, 4 years old, holding a BCI. Is that those are BCIs, right?
It was. I'm not sure what species exactly it was, but it was a. I think it was just a regular common boa constrictor. So it was at my local mall. I used to live in Northern California. Okay. I believe the guy's name was like Dave's Traveling Reptile Show. And this guy would pull his RV literally into the center court of the mall, and he'd open up his latches, and he had all these awesome iguanas and snakes. And I think it was like $4 or $5. And I got to he let me take a picture with the boa. And I have no idea. It just flipped a switch inside of me. I don't know what. It changed my life. Like, literally changed my life. And I was just fascinated with snakes after I saw this guy. And to this day, I'm 40 years old now. I still feel the same exact way walking into my snake room, producing snakes. Yeah. It's just really cool. But yeah, I was 4 years old.
So what's crazy is, Chaz, is like that feeling you just described. I had that feeling when I was a kid as well. And that feeling still happens today. Like, there are kids that we don't even know that are going to be huge figures in the hobby someday. They're just not big enough yet. But then guess what? They have the love for it at a young age. So with you, at what point did you started collecting your boas? Like, when did you feel like the hobby was meant for you? How old were you?
That started for me when I went to college at San Diego State, like we talked about. So they have a really great reptile show out there yearly. That's where I met my mentor, Mike Weitzman from Basically Boas. So I met him in 2003, and I purchased my first boa constrictor from him. And literally, when I just went to the reptile show in general, I was blown away. I was just like, this is absolutely however these guys are doing this is what I want for my life. So I met Mike. He mentored me. I got a snake from him, and I saw what he did for a living. I saw his life. I saw the quality of his snakes and how beautiful, even just the morphs that he was working on. And I was like, that is exactly what I want to do with my life. It was another transformative moment. Like literally 2003, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but that's exactly what I want to do. I want to make awesome animals. I want to have an effect on the hobby. I want to make a difference. And I was hooked. So when I was 17 years old.
Yeah. Wow. 2003. That was the year I graduated high school. It's funny you say that.
Hell yeah.
You know, once I was up in Washington, and then once I realized, college wasn't going to work for me, I ended up getting hurt. I came back home to San Diego, ended up renting a room with a buddy of mine I was working with. And he ended up getting a boa that he was like, I can't keep this thing, and I'm moving. And I'm like, well, I'll keep it. I want it. And I ended up keeping it. And I was like, and mind you, my very first snake was a ball python. That was the only snake I knew. But when I got a boa, oh my God, did my love for snakes go right through the roof, dude. Because again, we're talking the real deal Holyfield of snakes.
Yeah.
Like,
they have personality. Like they have personality. Like the way they take things in, the way they move, the way they look at their surroundings, the way that they think and look at you. Like, it's a beautiful thing. Like, even when I come in my room now, the way my snakes look through the glass, and it's like, it's something different. And I'm not, we're referring to ball pythons a lot, but that's not the same. That's not the same type of species at all. Like, there's something there with boas. There really is.
Ball python's defense mechanism is going into a ball. That's why they're called ball pythons. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's why ball pythons are such a great, like, entry level snake into this hobby. And that's great.
Yes.
But when you have a boa, that's like an apex predator in a sense, top of the food chain, and they mean business. Like, they're not scared. They're not timid snakes. They like to observe, and they like to kind of like see what's going on. And so to kind of have that learning experience just made me like, oh man, my love for snakes just it intensified by 10 times fold. You know what I mean? But then, obviously going into like later on, as I was growing my collection, I realized how much I wanted boas to be a part of everything, but there was things I didn't realize that were different between ball pythons and boas. And I kind of want to talk to you about where people go wrong when first getting into boas. I think one of the things that I was kind of messed up on was like humidity, temperature. I want to know throughout the years, what has worked for you when it comes to temperatures on your boas, and either for adult females or males, humidity. Let's kind of get into your husbandry.
Yeah. So, like I said before, I think the best thing you can do with boas is be extremely consistent. I keep my room a very consistent temperature. My ambient temperature is anywhere from, and the cooler times during the breeding season, I let it get down to 77, 78, but regularly throughout the year, it's 79 or 80. My hot spots on all my cages are 90. Except for maybe I manipulate some of the babies' temperatures or the newborn tubs, but and then humidity, I keep my humidity around 60 to 65, 70%. And it's a challenge for me. I live in Arizona, but that's what I found has been most successful. I will say that the main thing with boas is that you can't force them to grow faster. You can't force them. You can't power feed them. It doesn't work. You can't force them to breed and grow faster. You have to take the methodical approach and be consistent with your feeding schedule, your cleaning schedule, your how you breed them, when you breed them, your rotations, all this stuff. So that's what I think the real difference is that with ball pythons, that you can push them. they can take it. They can breed multiple males, can breed multiple females throughout the year. You can breed a lot of females back to back to back to back to back. So it's just a completely different species. But if you're consistent with the feeding regimen and your temperature and your humidity with boas, you will have great success. You absolutely will. It just takes time.
And I'm curious, you know, like babies compared to adults, right? Where do you feel like the difference is how you like to keep temperatures for babies, especially ones that you just hatched or had not hatched up, but that have been born? What have you realized works better? And I asked that because even with chondros, I keep my baby chondros a little bit warmer than I do the adults, because I just feel like that's worked. So I'm wondering if that's the same, or if there's anything you could give advice for people who are raising up boas.
I used to try to feed my boas every 6 or 7 days. That really doesn't work for me. I feed every 10 to 14 days now. It allows them to digest their meal better, empty out their stomach, and then I introduce another meal. I think it promotes a healthier growth rate. I think it promotes a healthier muscle tone, and you're not going to run into the issues of my snake is regurgitating. And then on top of that, I keep my hotspots maybe 91, maybe a little bit warmer, but I really am a madman about making sure that my heat panels are consistent all the way through, because you know what it's like heat, depending on your manufacturer, your cages, or however you do it, like your heat can be inconsistent at times. So I put a lot of effort into checking and maintaining my heat panels to make sure, well, they're all insulated, and make sure that they have good contact with the tub above, that the corner cage is temping at the same temperature as the middle cage. And I've changed all my thermostats to dual zone thermostats, because I used to have a lot of issues. Well, I want my babies to be 90, 91 degrees, but the top rack, the tubs are going to be 93 and the bottom tubs are going to be 88, because there is that difference in temperature. So I switched over to all dual zone thermostats. That's been that kind of refinement, and I've had great success. I feel like my snakes are growing better. I'm having better success with them, just growing at a healthier rate. So those are a few things.
And, you know, I'm curious too, like, you know, based off your production, you know, like for the most common python, we let it shed and then we feed it after its first shed. Is that kind of what you do with your babies? Do you give them their first shed and then attempt feeding trials, or when do you like to attempt to get them on their first meal?
Yeah, they'll shed typically 10 days after they're born. And then I'll kind of give them another 5 to 6 or 7 days to I'll separate them. I'll get them set up in their enclosures, and I'll just kind of let them chill. Yeah. And then I'll offer them food. And the first meal, it will be a very small meal, just because I want them to get comfortable with, I want them to get comfortable with feeding. I don't want their first meal to be overwhelmingly scary, because what you can do is you can create a setback of like, well, this snake's terrified of when you introduce food. So it'll be a smaller meal, and once I see their poop and I see the consistency of it, then I'll move forward from there. But I start slow. I used to be a lot more aggressive, because I was like, I want to get these snakes up to size. I want to breed them. I've taken a much more conservative approach for the first year, because I just want them to have a good, decent start. I don't need to raise any snake insanely fast. I'll be fine. Like that's where I'm at now.
Yeah. And again, you got to know how boas work. You know, their digestive system, a lot slower than a python species. You know what I mean? Yes. And you don't need to rush it to get them to grow big. Consistency is key, but you don't need to push them hard. You know what I mean? Yeah. And actually pushing them hard, as you could agree right now, it actually does a reverse effect. Like you're going to fuck them up if you push them to a certain point. And
absolutely. They'll get fat. Their digestive tract will be absolutely screwed up. They'll get a really weird body consistency of almost like a sausage, and they'll get wrinkly. It's just, you know, it's a learning curve. That's part of the reason why I've taken more of a step out there to try to help people, because these are all things where I'm just going to raise this snake up and I want to breed it and blah, blah, blah. But with boas, like I said, a consistent, more conservative approach is really the best way. It really is.
So you're going to love this for sure, because I know you know the feeling, obviously, but you know, I already had a few ball python clutches under my belt before I got my first litter, and I didn't know. You know, I had an expectation of when the first litter was coming, but didn't know an exact date. And of course, it happened when I wasn't ready for it. But holy cow, what a freaking experience to walk in and just see live births, just babies everywhere the cage, and she was still pushing out more. I'll take that freaking experience to my grave, dude, because like, you know, I mean, I think breeding anything's cool, but when it's live bearing like that, dude, oh my God, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
It really is absolutely magic. You'll never forget it. I'll never forget it either. There's something literally about seeing the birth of life. Even like, even occasionally I'll have them still born and they're still in their yolk sac, and breaking that yolk sac, seeing them take their first breath.
So, oh my God.
It's boas are really magic, man. Like I'm just here to say, like, when you see it, when you get more around the animals and you see the birth, like you just said, like it touches you, and it just touches your heart. Like, I don't know how to explain it. The people that know. So yeah, man, I'm with you 100%.
So I remember though, leading up to that birth, I had a lot of people, and you know, I'm sure they meant well, but they were sharing their experiences, and they were like telling me how, like, oh my God, I did so bad with the boas. Like, my female died. She gave me slugs. I just had a list of like people telling me things to worry about. And I get it. Like, boa's not, like I said, it's not like, here you go, you're going to be a boa breeder thing. And I remember I got 13 live, and there was 9 slugs, or like live, like, you know what I mean? And so I was okay with that, but I was like, damn, I feel like 9 slugs. Like, what can I do to avoid that? And I'm wondering what your ratio has been, like, where, you know, and what do you shoot for? Like, do you shoot for 100% birth rate? Do you expect slugs here and again? Like, and what has worked for you as far as getting the most out of your bursts and whatnot?
I will say I'm always shooting for healthy live babies. I will say the number one contributor I found over the years of slugs, I guess I'd say 2 things. You can get a lot of slug litters if your room is too hot or your hotspot is too hot. What it will do is it'll make the male's sperm infertile. They won't be able to fertilize the eggs. Number 2 is if you don't utilize a good breeding rotation with your male, or utilize a couple males, which is what I do now. I used to just solely rely on one male. What I found over the years is that males get tired. Even though you rest them throughout the breeding season, I have a longer breeding season. I give the animals, what I do is I give the animals the most opportunity to do what they want to do. They don't have to ovulate, but I will breed them for a longer period in order to, maybe a female wants to ovulate in February or March. Who am I to say to stop in December and not give her the opportunity? So I have a longer breeding season, but I rotate males, and I don't focus as much anymore on using younger males, because they're younger. They're not always fertile. They're smaller in stature. They get tired more easily. So I usually really start the breeding season with a older, larger adult male, and then I'll sprinkle in maybe my younger, cooler male that I'd really like to sire the litter, but I kind of use like an older, more mature, or a proven male to kind of, what's the word? Kind of like, I don't know, but you understand what I'm saying. So, but probably what you encountered was your male simply got tired, like, and just wasn't able to fully fertilize the entire litter. And I had that a lot before, years ago, is that I would just get these litters. I'm like, what's going on? And well, my room's too hot. And then I'd see, well, these males, I've been breeding them on and off for 2, 3, 4 months. Like, why don't I introduce a different male? Why don't I give this guy more of a break? So what I do now is I have a much more calculated approach to it, and rotation of breeding for a couple days, rest for a couple days, food, rest, breed, all this other stuff that I can get into. But I'm just much more calculated, and I watch, I observe, I take notes. Like, is this male actively breeding? If he's not, then sometimes I'll leave him in there for a little longer, and I'll let him warm up to the female. Sometimes males just need to warm up for literally like 3 or 4 weeks. You may see nothing, or they may be a night breeder, but you have to be in your snake room. If you're not in the snake room, and you're not, that's why the love of it comes into it. Come in your snake room in the nighttime. Maybe your male is, you know, I have a lot of leopards now. They like to breed more at night. Maybe your male breeds at night. You don't see it. Well, come check on your snakes in the middle of the night. Or leave your male in for a little bit longer, let him warm up. And then I also do a better job of like really looking, okay, is he breeding? okay, that's more cuddling. Is he copulating? That's what I'm looking for. Like, is he actually copulating? Okay, let me mark that down. The date. Okay, the next time I see him and he's not breeding her, I'll take her out. I'll give him a rest, give him food, let him chill for a week. But I just have a better system. It's not just, hey, I'm going to throw the snake in there and hope for the best. I just have a better system now. So,
like you said, you're calculated because how much tuned in you are to your collections and how much you're paying attention. And when you're paying attention, the calculation starts to kick in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm in here every day, like all day. I do have another job, but when I'm here, I check on my snakes every single day. And most of the days I'm in here 4, 5, 6 hours. But if I'm going to work, I'll come in here for an hour or two, work on the snakes, check them, mist them, clean, do whatever I need to do, take notes, and then I'll go. But if you're not in the snake room observing your animals, you are going to miss cues. All boa constrictors, they give you cues. Yep. They give you behaviors and things that are consistent throughout. If you're not in the snake room just absolutely obsessed with what you're doing, you're going to miss them. You're not going to see it. Or if you're not really interested in learning and getting better, you're just going to think, well, that doesn't matter and that's nothing. But they really will tell you if you pay attention.
I got to ask you, Chaz, on the topic of paying attention, do your females who are developing follicles, even close to ovulation, have like a glow to them? Like, do they have like a certain shine to how good they look when it comes to them being gravid or close to being gravid? Or any of that stuff?
I've heard of that in ball pythons. I've never observed that in boas, but what they will do is a female that's developing follicles or really close to ovulation, it's impossible for them to lay in a position. They'll lay in a more straightened out position. They won't be in a heat coil position. They won't be coiled up. Those follicles will force them to straighten out. So you'll come, I have a bunch of pictures of it that I can show you, but it's a really awkward position with their midsection of their body will be really stiff. It will start to look like maybe they almost ate a meal, and it's really consistent. How close it happens from there, the actual boom of the ovulation, it varies from female to female, but you are incredibly close. If you open your cage and you see that behavior, you are days, if not weeks, away from imminent ovulation.
Now, one thing I found is pretty fascinating with boas is, I hear boas eat after ovulation. Not all of them, but I heard if you can, it's good to give your female a smaller meal, of course, while they're, going through the birth process. Does that seem to be correct with you? Like, do you like to feed your females if they eat after ovulation?
Absolutely. So it's not for, I'm speaking of myself. I'm not sure what other people do, but it's after their post-ovulation shed. So after they ovulate, after they go into shed, immediately I'll introduce them. Depending on the size of the female, for my larger females, it'll be a medium to large rat. For my smaller females, it'll be a medium to small rat. But I'll offer them a meal every 3 to 4 weeks up until they're a month out from their due date. Because here's the thing about adult females. The process of them carrying 15, 20 on up to 40 plus babies, it takes a toll. It takes an absolute toll on them. It's not a ball python where they're pushing out an egg and they're good and I can eat 8 weeks later. For them to carry those things 105 days after their post-ovulation shed, it takes a lot out of them. You can see the nutrients, and you can see their body composition and body structure change. So those medium rats are gold. They need those not only to grow and give nutrients to the babies, they need them for themselves to sustain themselves. So every female is different. I do occasionally have a few females that don't really eat through their gestation, but for the most part, I'll feed females 3-4 meals throughout their gestation. What you don't want to do is feed them a gigantic meal or feed them too close to their due date, because they will poop out babies, and that's really what you're trying to avoid.
Yeah. I mean, like I've had 2, other than the emerald tree boa litters, I had 2 litters from, I think it was a sharp albino and a T positive albino female. And those boas ate all the way up to the 30-day mark before they laid, and they recovered great. I realized like how great they bounced back from that. Right.
That's another thing too, to credit what you just said, that helps the recovery process. You're aiding the recovery process through their gestation.
Yeah, but my emerald tree boas, they didn't eat during the 5 months or however much they were gravid for, and man, they look like dog shit. Like they looked
like noodles.
Yeah,
like
bro.
noodles.
Like their head, top of their heads were sunken in, and they have, my females have big butt heads. But then when this happened, they look like a import. They look like a freaking fresh off the boat.
You can see their spines, their vertebrae, their ribs. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you just only feel bad for them because you're like, dang. And I've had one female bounce back. I had one, and my first emerald tree boa litter ever. She died with 13 fucking fully developed babies inside of her. And she, for whatever reason, she couldn't pass them. She had some sort of a knot in her oviduct or something. I forgot what it was. Because when she passed away, I ended up cutting her open because I wanted to see what was in her. And sure enough, 13 beautiful Miss Willie line emerald tree boas right there. And that was gut wrenching, bro. Like that should make me cry. I'm not gonna lie, I cried. I was in tears that day. Dude. I really was.
Yeah. I completely understand, brother. Completely understand.
But at the end of the day, following that next year, I had success. Had perseverance. You know what I mean? Like I pushed through because how bad I wanted it. And having
credit to you.
Yeah,
credit to you, bro.
Appreciate it. Yeah. But then I also, again, you can't make these females eat if they don't want to eat during their digestive period, right? They're, being gravid. But I do know, like you said, it helps them quite a bit. If they are willing to eat, man, give them a meal. And obviously do it good.
That's another main reason why I think it's really important to make sure that your females not only have the proper size, length, muscle tone, weight, age, is because they really have to have like a reserve of body size and fat in order to really healthily give them an opportunity to make it through their full gestation and give birth. If you're trying to breed females at 2.5 years old, you can occasionally do it and you can have success, but what you're going to find is that the female almost never recovers. It ruins them. It ruins them because they're physically and sexually not ready to carry the load of what it is to be gravid the entire time. So that's why it's really good to wait until they're ready.
But I feel like when it comes to breeding period, maturity's on your side. Like there's no sense to rushing anything, no matter what the species is. But the truth of the matter is, you could get away with that with some species, like ball pythons for sure. Yeah. Boas, good luck. Like good luck trying to do that with boas. Watch what's going to happen.
Yeah, you might get one litter out of them, but you'll never get anything else. And their recovery and their muscle tone, it's just something different after that, as opposed to maybe you wait till they're 3.5, 4.5, 5 years old, and they'll give you one litter, then you give them a year off, then they'll give you another litter, and it's just a better. It's better for the animal. It's better for the longevity of the animal, and you're going to get bigger litters, and it's just a more sustainable approach. So I get it. Look, like when I first got into boas, some of the prices, it's not ball python level prices, but they're astronomically high. Some of these snakes are very expensive, and like I said, it's competitive. It's a race. People want to be the first to do this, first to do that. But if you take a conservative approach and you really put the animal's health first, and you just wait the extra year, the reward, it's going to be there. It may not feel like it, or it may be. It's obviously difficult, but you will be successful, and then you'll have an opportunity not to have just one litter, but multiple litters.
Yeah. And again, like one thing I love about this hobby is like when you learn that shortcuts isn't in your favor, like just take the long road and watch what happens when you take the long road. The success is glory. Like it's a much better experience when you don't take any shortcuts, and there's just no shortcuts with boas. Like there's no.
That's one of the positives and negatives. It truly, I feel really lucky because I don't have as much competition. There's not as many people making boas, but if you do it, it's not easy. And also, but if you do it long enough and you love it, I truly feel like it's impossible for you not to be successful. And that's the beauty of it. If you care about the animals, if you do things the right way, if your temperatures are locked in, you will be successful. It may take you a few extra years as compared to some other species, but you will get there. I promise you will get there.
It all comes in waves, right? Like it's like all you're doing is chilling out and just waiting for that wave to come. And it will come. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a really cool, like you said before, it's a journey. Like I look back on where I was 10 years ago, and I think how cool would it, the process that it took me to get here. I thought of this the other day. I told my wife, I said, if someone would have handed me what I have now 10 years ago, I would have fumbled it. I would have absolutely fumbled it. I would have been overwhelmed. I would have not had the knowledge. I would have, it would have been a detriment. But in the process of me figuring it out year after year after year, that's where the magic is. That's where the love of it grows. And then when you do have the success, you're ready for it. So it took me a long time, but I'm so thankful that I did go through some struggles, because not only did it make me appreciate things more, but it made me ready for what I'm doing now. And I truly don't think I would have really been, I would have been engulfed in things, and I would have messed things up otherwise. So
I think the exact same way, because, you know, I was in a crossroads coming into the industry. Like, I was living a life that just was not good for me. I had to ditch that life, but when I did, money became a huge issue. So when I was falling in love with this hobby, I had no money. I had hardly any money, could barely pay my rent, but I was still like obsessed with the snake game, and I would figure it out. But if I had all the money in the beginning, I would have fucked this all up, dude. I would have totally not, I would not be here today, because I know how my personality is. You know, if I had money like that 10 years ago, dude, I would not appreciate and value the stuff that I value like today, because it was never about money, and it still isn't about money. But my love for this outweighs anything when it comes to having any kind of success. Just being a part of the reptile hobby means way more than any money could ever bring me, dude.
You hit the nail on the head. Absolutely. Keep going. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, I just like, and again, I know this hobby's growing, but it's growing in a way where people are logging on to social media. They're seeing your page. They're seeing Justin's page. They're seeing Miguel's page. And they're like, well, I could do that. I don't know if I like snakes, but I could do that. And that's where I'm like, man, well, maybe find out if you like snakes first. Like, you know, find out if you actually love this, because that whole money thing, none of it's guaranteed. Like, when you invest in an animal, male or female, what makes you think it's guaranteed to breed? There's no guarantee. It's an animal. It's just like, just like how not all humans are able to breed. It's the exact same way with animals. So then what are you going to do? And I talked to a lot of people who have like a return investment, like timeline, and they need to get money. And I'm like, dude, that's not fun.
Yeah.
Like,
I really discourage people from thinking that mindset. It has to be like we talked about before. You have to start with the overwhelming love of it.
Yeah, I agree.
And at the very most, I do run into some newer keepers that are like, I don't want to make any money. Here's what I say to them. I say, there is nothing wrong with wanting to make a profit, because here's what a profit can do for you.
Right.
Cover your costs. Allow yourself to upgrade your collection, to upgrade your caging, to upgrade your facility. At the very least, that should be your goals. It doesn't have to be, I want to be a big time, full-time breeder. It doesn't have to be, I want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Make your investment back. But if you're starting from, if you're approaching it with like your ROI and that, this is not the business for you. You have to love it. You have to love it. And if you don't, those people don't last. They don't.
Can you imagine getting a loan from the bank to buy a snake that you want or something, like, or like anything like that? And what's crazy, I talk to people like that, getting into chondros, like literally taking $50,000, $100,000 on a loan. And I'm like, well, dude, what fun is that? You don't even know if you could breed this thing. Like
that's what made me nervous when I first got into Boas too, is I saw the money, people dropping mortgage, taking out a second mortgage on your house. Like, I was like, oh my God, like what? Like, like I was just like, hey, I mean, huge risk. You can have a huge reward, but I'm going to go slow and methodical. Like I'm going to figure out my husbandry first. I'm going to figure out breeding practices. I'm going to figure out caging and grow it. But yeah, if you're taking that, it's a recipe for disaster, because you're flat out. Some people may do it, but you're not going to make your money back in a year or two. It's not that type of business. It's a long-term business. And it's like you said, it's a tidal wave of a little bit success, and then the floodgates could open, but you got to work for it for quite some time before you ever make it. Look how long Justin is one of the smartest, best keepers of any species in the entire world. And as methodical and as intelligent he was, it even took him time to become what he is now. Like it took him 10 years to really become Justin of KINOVA. Like, so and that's the best of us. If you're not, I'm far dumber than Justin is. And you can still do it, but it's not a fast process. It really is not. This is not that type of business.
Yeah. The dedication has to be there, dude. And again, it's going to be a lot of like, what am I doing type moments before you even get there. But again, it's a journey, dude. Yeah,
man. That's why I encourage people to reach out. I really have started to encourage people, find a mentor, find someone you look up to.
100%.
Like I'm over here telling you about ball python people that I was learning from and studying from. I also had a couple really awesome snake mentors. Mike Weitzman has been my longtime mentor. My buddy Green Ant was one of my best friends and really taught me a lot. But you have to have an example of where you want to go, so you have something to kind of key in on. Because if you're just aimlessly kind of like, I don't know what genes I want to do, I don't know what type of breeder I want to be, I don't know, you really need a mentor. You need someone to focus on, or at least bounce ideas off of, because otherwise it is going to be a bit difficult. And nowadays with social media, like everyone has so much stuff. You're going to be like, well, after a year, well, I want to try ball pythons. Well, I want to try chrondos. Well, I want to try this. Like, I'd advise you just find something specific that you really love, focus in on it, get a good mentor, find someone that you can look up to that's genuine with you, honest with you, and grow the organic way, way.
Yeah. And vet the shit out of your mentors. Like, make sure whoever is giving you advice, somebody who's been around and been leading by example, because it's very unfortunate how many people have mentors that just shit on this hobby. And it's like, dude, no, you got to break away from that. And again, everyone has a different taste in their mouth when it comes to the reptile hobby. Some people are very sour they're on their way out, but they still want to help others. But what they're doing is they're toxically bleeding into this person and making it seem like this isn't a good hobby to be a part of. And that's not a good mentor to have. It really isn't.
No, you want someone that loves it, that's positive, because the negativity is going to breed into it. If someone's looking at you like, oh, you've been around 20 years and you absolutely freaking hate this and you hate people, that's not really the best mentor to have. You want someone that's positive, that's going to be patient with you, you're absolutely right about that. That can encourage you. It takes encouragement. I've had so much encouragement from Tracy Barker, from Mike Weitzman, like a few legitimate legends. And without those people like really speaking life into me and give me a little knowledge and give me a little pat on the back every now and then, like it means a lot. Like it helps you keep going. And then I cherish those people, like the people that came before me and the people that have helped me. I would never be where I'm at without help of others. Like, that's why I tell, like, we're all in this together. Like, it's no one's individual of anyone else. Like, we're all, it's a real community. And the more people that you can pull to your side and learn from, it just makes the quality of your experience and the quality of it just makes everything better. I don't know if that makes sense.
I don't know whose fault this is, but man, I wish Tracy didn't hate podcasters so much, man. She will never in her life ever come on a podcast. Nicest lady ever, you know what I mean? But she's like, that's not for me, and I'm never gonna do one. And I've had multiple people who are like this with Tracy. Ryan Young's one of them. And they all tried, and she's like, no, I'm not gonna. But she'll
talk to you on the phone for 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah, no problem. No, she will give you her peace of mind over the phone all day, every day. But when it comes to doing this, nope, she's checked out. And it's like, oh man. But you know what? I respect her for it. You know what I mean? Like Tracy isn't looking for a limelight. She isn't looking for attention. She's literally all about the reptiles, like a legit reptile head. And she's an absolute legend, dude. Her and her husband, legends, bro.
Yeah. The books that they've written, how much I don't think the world really fully knows how much Dave and Tracy Barker have contributed to blood pythons, boa constrictors,
scrubs,
everything. Scrub, like they are literally in the Hall of Fame at the very top. And I absolutely love them. I look up to them. I just used to go on their page, check their page, read their blog. Like it's fascinating they've lived the life. They've lived the reptile life their entire lives. They've contributed. They've given back. They've supported other people. Like, that's what I want to be like. That's what I want to pass forward. So
I agree.
Yeah.
100%, dude. Again, man, I've just said this on a podcast. I did a podcast with Morelia Python Radio, and we were just talking about, like, yeah, the reptiles is number one while we're here, but the second best thing are the people, man. The people you get to meet will take you so far in life. It's so amazing. And mind you, you got to make sure you're looking up at the right people, but it's not hard to find this hobby. There's so many good people in this hobby, dude. There are so many good people who have different lifestyles, but they love reptiles, and that's what brings us all together. And I'm so thankful for the mentorships that I've had and the people that I've had. Look at the wall that you have with people, man. Like,
that's why I put that up there, because I finally realized, like, what's the snakes are cool, but the memories, the memories with people, it's like that's what I'll remember. I'll remember the snakes. I absolutely love the snakes, but the people who have helped me, the people who have supported me, the people who I talk to daily, like, hey, look at this, and what do you got? Like, I love my snakes, but to be honest, I get tired of looking at. I mean, like, when my buddies show me something new, I got a lot of great. I am so blessed. I have a lot of great friends. And when they send me stuff, it's like I feel it through them. Like, God damn, that's a good looking boa. What a great litter. Like this, like it's like we're all sharing in it together. If I was just a guy in my facility breeding and doing this all on my own, it wouldn't be the same. Like, yes, I would love it. Yes, I love the animals, but being able to share it with like-minded people, that's where the magic's at. And it's not even, it doesn't even have to be social media, but social media has allowed me not only to share more of myself, but to meet like-minded people and just develop great friendships. So that's really the magic of it.
And what's even more magical is everything you're doing now is inspiring so many up-and-comers, bro. Like the way we are talking about Tracy, I swear to God, people are gonna be talking about you, dude. And all because you're sharing what you love. You're looking after people, that subscription that you have, and you're tapping in with people. Dude, just 5 years from now, watch how much that's going to do to so many people who are a part of this, man. And that's something you should take note of, bro. Like, you're in those shoes now where you are now the inspirer. Like, you are inspiring so many people who just, like, it was even me. I even said it, bro. Like, just looking at your page reminds me, like, there are still people out there having fun doing this. Like, you know, and it's, you know, it was a rough time with the market, you know, after COVID, you see a lot of people leaving, and that's fine. That should not spoil your fun. Like, if you love doing this, show that you love do this, like that you love doing this. You know what I mean? Because it really bleeds into people. Like, it's contagious in a good way.
Yeah, I've spent 20 plus years being very embarrassed of speaking, being very embarrassed of showing my face, being at all in the public. And I finally just realized, like why not now? Like, why not? I absolutely love these snakes. I've been fortunate to produce some very cool stuff. Like, why not show people more? And like, why not open up more? I'm going to sound like an idiot. I'm going to still make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I'm going to do my absolute best to just inspire people is what I really want to do, is inspire people. And I truly appreciate that. It really touches my heart, man, because that's been my number one goal, is that I just want people to love it. Like, the reason why I put so much into my videos and pictures is because I really want, that's how I see the animals. I just want you to see it the way I see it. And if I can get you to, even for a second, and you know what the really cool thing is that at my job, and people will come up to me that don't give two craps about snakes or know anything about snakes, but they see it. Like, you can see, like, hey man, like that's cool. And that's where it's at, is like, if I can get someone that doesn't even really care about snakes, but if I can capture the absolute true beauty of a boa constrictor and inspire someone else, there's really nothing better than that. Like, so that's what I'm doing. That's why I've just absolutely flooded my page with snakes, and I hope it's working.
Yeah, man. When did you move to Arizona?
I've pretty much lived here on and off since 2000 or 99. So I went to elementary, high school, or grade school, or junior high school out here. I went to college. college in San Diego, and then I moved around a little bit, but ultimately I moved back here full time in 2013. So,
what part of Arizona are you in?
In East Valley, outside of Phoenix.
Okay. And I've been to Arizona. It's actually like, you think, oh, it's all desert, but no, man, there's some like crazy, like foresty type areas of Arizona. I'm curious, what's it like where you live? Like what kind of,
that's not where I'm at.
you're in the hot.
Yeah. Phoenix. I'm in the absolute hellhole of, I don't know. All the time I ask my wife, like, why do we live here? How did I end up here? Like, I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate, but cool. All the places you're referring to, those are all north. So Flagstaff, Sedona, Cholo, Pine Top, Lakeside, those are all, there's no trees down here. It's cactus, dirt. It's literally 120 degrees. So that's not here, but someday I will not be here. So
on that topic, I'm curious, when it comes to breeding, because from earlier when you were saying, it seems like you breed all year round, but do you have seasons? Like, do you have a cycling point where you cool down and all that stuff? And I'm curious what that is.
Yes. So absolutely. I do not breed year round. I have a very specific time frame, but I breed. I'll start the process of breeding in the beginning of October. So by the process, I mean, I fast my females and I drop the temperatures in my room a tiny bit, and I fast them for a month. Then in the beginning of November, I'll introduce males, and then I'll go from there. Oh,
beautiful.
Okay. I'll observe, but pretty much up until April to right about now, I just had my last female have her last POS. So pretty much beginning of May, I'm done. And that's the latest. That's unless I see something that's progressively moving forward, I'll call it quits. So if I can't get anything done in November, December, January, and I have the bulk of my ovulations in January. So like I was actually hoping that I have 4 litters due today. I was hoping that I could show you guys. It's going to be pretty cool. Just check my page out tomorrow, maybe. But the bulk of what I do and the meat of what I do happens in January. So as far as the ovulations, so that's really my season. I don't breed year round. I control my environment, and I have a system, and I'm very calculated with what I do, and I follow it. And what happens, and then I'll move forward.
So in the summer. So basically when the breeding stops, how do you like to feed? Like, what's your feeding schedule like for all your adults when it's like not breeding season?
It really depends. So if I'm trying to get weight back on a female, I'll feed maybe more frequently, but I'm focused on a larger meal size. So and then really what I would encourage newer keepers to do is to look at their poop, look at how they're digesting the food. If I'm not seeing full, absolutely good looking structured poop, then and it's more runny or whatever, then I'll cut back. But nothing's more than 7 every 7 days. But for my average adult females that maybe they had the year off, I'm only feeding them like twice a month, larger meal sizes. I learned this from my really good buddy JB, but I really spent probably previously to about two years, I was underfeeding my snakes. Like I wasn't putting enough size on my snakes. They didn't, so I bumped up my meal size, not the frequency, and my females are responding better. They've never had better muscle tone. I've taken my average litter size from 16 to 18 and a half, and I think this year hopefully even a little bit higher. So for me, that's really where I want to be at. I'm not trying to have 30 or 40 baby litters, but if I can consistently have maybe 18 to 20 babies in a litter, then I'm perfectly happy with that. My snakes aren't the largest, but my snakes aren't the smallest. So I'm kind of middle of the road. I'm conservative, man. That's where I'm at.
That's awesome. I want to kind of get into your projects, bro. What's your bread and butter project? You say that maybe you're known for, or what's more important to you? Like what's kind of pinnacle when it comes to your projects?
I really love, I would say 2 things. I really love the Spectre stuff. So Spectre and Spectre.
Spectre stuff on your page that we could look at, that I could pull up your Instagram.
Yeah.
If you want to show me where it's at, I have it up on the screen. I just want to see what Spectre stuff looks like.
It's one right. Hold on, right. Go back up a little bit. Right in the middle. Right in the middle. So that right there, that's
these ones right here.
That's a Hypo Spectre Jungle Motley.
Oh yeah.
That's
Okay.
what that is.
Oh my God. Look at this stuff. All right. Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
So that's a combination of RDR, so Ralph Davis Reptiles, and VPI. That's essentially what a Spectre is. So, but there's two different lines. On the contrast flip side, there's Carbon Snow. What a Carbon Snow is a black-eyed anery in VPI. So they are different lines. It'd be comparable to in ball pythons, banana, and coral glow. They're separate lineages that came from completely separate different bloodlines, but they're compatible, and they just really create it's an albino, but it has more depth. They look cooler. They're awesome. They're better than your. I feel like they're soon probably will overtake a VPI Snow in popularity because they just have extra depth and color. So that's one of my main projects. And then I've been really focused for a long time on combining blood with type 1 anery. I created that project. So right there in the middle, right there, you see that snake in my hand? Go down.
Oh, this one to the right?
No, right in the middle. Keep going down one more, right in the middle. Sorry. Go back up. Go back up. It's in my hand. You see me cleaning the cage? Go down one row. Down one row and left one. One to the right. To the right one.
This one?
No.
This
right.
one, right.
Yeah, that one. So that's that's a combination of type 1 anery.
Look at this thing. Wow.
Blood and VPI. And then the codominants on top are Aztec and Motley. But for me, that's probably the best thing I'll make this year. It's the first triple recessive of its kind.
Oh my God.
It took me 12 years to make that snake. The odds in that litter were, I believe, it was either 1 in 64 or 1 in 128. So it's incredibly difficult. I was breeding het to het. So, and these are all things like I talked about before. I learned from Justin, like how can I make not only a beautiful snake, but a snake that's going to maintain its value. So I firmly believe that people will be chasing these type of snakes for decades. Like I just go back and I look at, well, how long was call albinos popular? Well, 20 or 30 years. How long have double recessives been popular, like call bloods or VPI Snows? Well, they've been popular 20 years. Well, how long is that going to be popular? It's going to be popular, and people are going to be wanting to produce that for the next 30 years. That's where I'm at. That's why I firmly believe, and that's why I felt like it was worth the sacrifice in order for me to take so long to make it, and it looks great.
Oh my God, looks great is an understatement, my man. This is next level right here. And I'm assuming this is the most untapped stuff that you have working right now. Like, is this kind of it right here when it comes to like untapped stuff?
I have more litters. Coming. Let me see if you go to something. I have some good stuff coming. If you go down, go down a little bit more. That other snake in my hand right there. That's roughly the same project, but without VPI. See where all the rats are? Yeah, right there.
Oh my God, look at this stuff. Jeez.
That's roughly the same. So that's type 1 anery. It's a hypo, and it's a blood, along with Labyrinth and Aztec and probably Jungle. But it's a double recessive. These are incredibly hard to make. So you see the litter. I think I had a litter of 18 or 20, and I made one of them. But for me, it's a huge accomplishment because all I have to do is make it. Now that I've made it, I'm good. But they're just really difficult snakes to make. You know, every year I have people that are asking me like, "Hey, can I get one?" or "What do you got going?" And I'm like, I kind of have to tell them like, I'm desperately trying. I'm desperately trying to make it, but I may or I may not. And then, you know, that's where I'm at. But you got to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere.
So how are people inquiring stuff like this? Like this isn't available? Like you're holding all this stuff back, or they're like, do you have a list on your subscription that you let it go? Like how's it work?
Yeah, that's what I actually came up with this year, is that I was kind of getting overwhelmed with people messaging me. And I also take a more conservative approach. So that snake, that entire litter, I'm going to let it shed out. I feed it 4 to 5 meals. I let them be established, and then I'll take pictures and post them up. But for this year, people that are subscribed to my page are going to get the first crack at everything. So people that are investing in me, I'm going to do my best to invest back in them. So they'll have first crack at everything, and that's how it's going to go this year.
I'm a numbers guy, man. So let's play with this a little bit. What are we talking here? Like, what's the range as far as price goes with this litter right here? Like, if you just had to think, like, I'm just curious. It doesn't need to be exact. Give me a range here
for the entire litter.
I mean, I'm just talking about, like, what would be the cheapest thing in this litter all the way to the most expensive thing in this litter, you would say?
I value that snake that I'm holding in my hand at least $7,500, $8,000.
I love it.
And then
that's awesome.
For the rest of the other litter, there are some great pieces. This is
for sure
talking about testing that's become available now. I really hope that this year we'll be able to test for blood. So a lot of these snakes in here, there's some killer stuff, but hopefully I'll be able to test and prove out some of these POS sets. And then once I know exactly what the genetics are, I believe that this litter is extremely valuable. So maybe $20,000 or $30,000, but I just have to verify the genetics on some of these snakes in order to properly market them. But there's a lot of value. There's a lot of value there, and most of the stuff there they've all never been made, so it's just something new.
And then once shed testing becomes a factor in this, then it changes everything. I'm assuming, right? Like once you have shed tests to back all this stuff up, the value of this project goes through the roof. I could only imagine.
Yeah, that's absolutely. So the only thing I really have to reference it that I've really studied is ball python market. The best thing about the ball python market is that you have a narrow window for breeding. So you're able to prove out or not prove out snakes extremely quickly. The main detractor that I believe in the boa hobby is that people nowadays are extremely reluctant to buy hets or even POS hets because no one wants to spend 4 or 5 years raising up a snake in order for it to not prove out. With rare genetics and the testing becoming available, it will absolutely revolutionize the boa market because I'll be able to properly ID snakes, and people, instead of selling POS hets for a fraction of the dollar, you can buy 100% hets and know exactly what you're getting. And that way it just shortens your project window from potentially never happening because you bought a POS set that's not going to prove out to 100%. You're going to make it. It may take you 2 or 3 years, but you're going to make it. So I'm really, really excited about that because I've also seen what it's done with the ball python market. And that's what all these guys are doing now. Why sell a POS het for $500 to $1,000 when oh my gosh, it's actually a het? Well, that changes things. It increases its value. People want a sure bet. So I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to hopefully some of this more valuable and expensive stuff, I'm going to hold back. I'm going to try to get it shed tested and market it as what it is.
Chaz, what the hell is this right here, bro? Because this right here is just insane. Like,
hey,
my gosh, bro. Can we please talk about this snake, please?
Yeah, let me see if it's not in shed. I'll grab it.
All right. Yeah, even better. Woo, show and tell. Let's do it. Yeah, when I was geeking out over Chaz's page a few weeks back, or a couple of weeks back, I saw this snake and I was like, I added it to my list of things I wanted to discuss with him about. And it seems like in the comment section, there's a lot of the people who are freaking out over this. All right, I'm gonna give you the full screen, Chad.
It's a VPI hypo leopard labyrinth. So it's commonly referred to as a habanero, but what really makes it unique is that the labyrinth gene added on top, and then on top of that also it's 100% het anery. So it's it's just different. I got extremely lucky making this. I actually made one of these without hypo in it, and it looks nothing like this. I tell people, I tell my buddy all the time that if I hadn't have made this with hypo, I probably would have kind of thought differently about the project, but now that I've seen it, so this is the key to making habanero glaciers.
Okay.
Or to making glaciers, which is a VPI leopard anery, but this will just make the coolest ones because of the pattern, the enhanced color from the labyrinth gene. So
was that the only one out of the litter that looked like that?
Yeah. It was. I was breeding. So it came from a hypo labyrinth double het VPI leopard to a ghost double het VPI leopard. So everything in the litter was 100% het anery, but I just got really lucky. Like making this snake really literally changed my thoughts on the entire project. So I'll definitely be focusing on this going forward. So I just got lucky, man.
Yeah, man. But then again, I mean, I know luck is a part of what we do, but the luck will never come if you're not putting in the work. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think,
and
you know,
I'll show you,
yeah, go
Let
ahead.
me show you real quick. I'm grabbing it so I know I'm off camera, but this is what it's the key to. This is what it's the key to making. So these are what glaciers are.
Yeah, I want to see what a glacier is.
I was lucky to make 2 of them last year, but I made one with hypo and one not with hypo.
Oh my God.
So,
those things are nuts.
yeah. They are. They are kind of ridiculous.
Dude,
But so the one on
that's
the one in the one in this hand, it has hypo, and then the one in this hand, it is a little bit of a paradox. That's what kind of the green and the yellow comes in, but it's a VPI snow leopard, a triple recessive, and so is this. So
wow, dude, those are stunning right there, bro.
yeah, thank you, man.
Those are knockouts, bro. Jeez. And those were from last year or earlier this year? When did you make these?
I made these last year, so they're almost a year old. They might have just turned a year old. So yeah.
Are those both females, male, female? What are those?
They're actually both males.
Oh, okay. Was that a good thing or bad thing?
Oh, it's a great thing. I actually already made a couple this year. I made a female, so I have a nice female to hold back as well. So I've just been really lucky.
Dude, those are so sick. Oh my God, I enjoyed that a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. So on the topic of breeding, Chaz, what are you shooting for litter wise a year at this point? You know, like what's a good number you like to hit yearly with your experience now?
I would really like to make it's hard with the litters, you know. Not every boa will ovulate. Not every boa has successful litter. What I'm really shooting for, I don't want to be a larger scale breeder. I want to be kind of what I've referenced to before is kind of like a boutique breeder. So I would really like to only make around 200 babies a year. That's kind of where I want to be at. This year, I will end up making a bit more. But for me, that's manageable. I did have a few more females ovulate than I was expecting. But for me to make 150 to 200 snakes plus a year is manageable. And that's where I want to be at. So it allows me, it fits within my facility. It fits within my time scale. I'm working on this roughly 30 to 40 hours a week now. So I'm giving it my all. It's a lot of work, but
yeah,
I love it. And for the first time in a long time, I'm finally having the payoffs and I'm seeing it. So it's just really ignited like a fire in me, and I'm just going for it, man. So I'll make a few more snakes this year, but really where I want to be at year to year is about 200.
And I can only imagine this happening for you. Like your battery pack, it's just fully energized right now. Like you have no issue going to your snake room if you need to.
Nah, dude. I'll be real honest with you, man. Like I'll just wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes it's like,
yeah,
I can't wait to get out there, or I can't wait to see it. I love the work of it, and it just, I don't know if it's who I am. I don't know if it's the animals. I don't know what it is, but it's just so enjoyable. And then when I'm able to send a snake to someone else and they get joy from it and they're excited in it with me, it's just, it's just like it feeds you. Yeah, it really touches your soul.
Yeah, man. And I'm sure you can appreciate this, Chaz, but you know, I got my first breeding. I bred chondros for the first time in 2018. Where are we at? We're in 2026 now, right? So
yes, sir.
Guess how long it took me to get my first successful chondro clutch to like to fully come out of the egg and go the distance. Guess how long it took me?
Knowing I don't know too much about the species, but I would say 4 to 5 years.
7 years. Okay.
7 years.
7 years. And mind you, I got clutches. My problem was they would either be dead in the egg, or it started off with them being fully developed dead in the egg, right? And then I found out my incubation wasn't dialed in. I got my incubation dialed in. So then I would get them to come out the egg, but then it was about getting them to eat. I figured out how to get them to eat, but then they would prolapse and die. And so I went through all these stages, bro. And then finally, once I got my husbandry dialed in, once I stopped using so much heat, because a lot of my issue was the heat. And once I figured all that out, dude, and I got my fucking taste of like a full 100% hatch rate, none of them prolapsing, dude, you roll out of bed anytime you want now. And something wakes you up and say, I need to go to my room. And I would just go.
You have it. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, and I'd be tired later, but I don't give a shit. Like I'm like,
you have
I'll figure it out.
You have a feeling. I swear to God, you just have a feeling like I know something's there. I need to go check. And then once you're up, good luck to you. But looking back on it, I know you're just like, gosh, I wish I would have figured things out sooner. But the important thing is that you did figure it out. Like that's what I want to is you figured it out. And look at you now, man. Like you're inspiring. You have this platform for me to come on and share what I love to do. You're inspiring so many other people. Like it doesn't happen if you just give up. It doesn't. None of this happens if you're just like, this ain't for me. It's too hard. I'm not, it starts in here and then you just keep going, man. So it's a huge credit to you, man. 7 years. I would say it was a rough 7 years, but look at you now, man. Goddamn, you're happy. I can see it. I can feel it. Like it's the same. Like I feel you. Like absolutely.
And that's where I will say being as transparent as I was throughout the last 6 years of being on the show, it worked to my benefit because I've had people following me this whole time. And then now that I talk about success, I got so many people flooding my DMs with telling me how much I've inspired them, how much it's motivated them to push forward because I'm not alone. I'm not the only one trying to figure this shit out. There's a lot of people out there who go through some crazy dips in this game. But if you don't know how to stick it out, you're never going to find the true glory of why we do this. Like the reward outbeats the failures 1000%. And all you need is a little taste of the glory to keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know,
once you get a little taste, you're like, man, you can't literally. I would, if I had to come out here and work 80 hours a week, I would do it because it is worth it. It is worth it in order to see the results of my dreams. Like
I agree.
Not only the money, the time, the blood, the sweat, the tears, but it's all worth it. Like even to go through the bad times, it's 100% worth it. I wouldn't trade anything in the world. I do really wish I would have learned some things quicker. I do really wish I would have fine-tuned my system and my what I do quicker, but I had to go through the bad times.
And guess what, Chaz? If I was all about money, I wouldn't have lasted 7 years. There's no way in hell. Like if it was all about me making a return and that's why I was doing this, I would have checked out after year 2. You kidding me? With the kind of failures I was having, but it wasn't about the money. I just wanted to have that success. I mean, I love chondros. That's the way you love boas. I love chondros, man. Like that's my itch. That's what that is. All I think about are emerald tree boas and chondros. And regardless how long it's going to take me, I'm going to figure it out. Like it's going to be when it happens, but it's going to happen. You know what I mean? And I'm so
I do want to take, sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I do want to take a second because it just made me think of my wife. Like, God, I must have seemed like a crazy person because when I was first, me and my wife had been together for 17 years. And when we were getting together, you know, I was collecting, I was fine tuning. I was trying to figure out my process. We moved a lot. It was difficult. And there were years where she was kind of like, what are you doing, bro?
Oh yeah. I know that feeling.
You know what I'm saying? I could get into that more, but I'll leave that there. But I was just like, I would tell her like I was fighting my own demons and my own failures. And then I was coming inside my house and my wife was like, what are you doing?
She could feel it. Yeah.
I was just like, I'm gonna do it, honey. I swear to God, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna do this. And just year after year, I had a pretty similar story. God, this is touching my heart, but
you're good.
Like it took me 7 or 8 years really to figure this stuff out too. But when I did figure it out, like fuck yeah, I felt like I overcame a mountain of self-doubt and fucking just it was hard. And she stuck with me the whole fucking time. So credit to my wife.
Shout out to the wives, bro. You know, and I put my wife through the same thing, Chaz. Like there was moments where my wife was like, dude, are you sure you could handle this? Because you're visibly upset. I see what these things are putting you through. And I told her, I swear I'm gonna figure it out. And every year I would tell her I have an ovulation. She would look at me and say, okay, if it doesn't work out, don't be so upset. Or like she would try to mentally get me prepared for the failures that I was seeing.
Yes.
And then eventually, bro, it came around where I said, listen, they're all out of the egg. And she was like, man, now I'm getting emotional, because now like having her just be there for me and to let me continue through. Like, dude, you have some people out there that have spouses that say, sell your snakes. Why are you doing this? Like literally pressuring them to get out. And my wife has only been supportive, dude. Like, and that right there, that is worth more than any kind of gold you could ever get in your life, bro. To have that kind of support from your spouse, bro, come on.
It really did. You know what my wife did? She said this one thing to me, and it I'll be really honest, it really fucking pissed me off. But she was like, because I know what success, I know what it looks like, and I know I know it was doable. But she said this one thing to me like a long time ago, and she was like, well, I'd have these slug out litters, and my females weren't ovulating. I had no goddamn clue what I was doing. And she was like, well, that's just kind of Boas, isn't it? And I really like took a step back from her, and I was like, it's not Boas. I was like, it's me. I was like, I can figure this out. It's just, I have to figure it out. I was like, the snakes can ovulate. The system I was following is proven. I was following it from multiple people that have had great success and that are founders in the hobby. It's just like, I'm not able to replicate what they're doing yet, but I know that I can. I'm going to get there. So for her to kind of stick with me, like it meant a lot. Cause like I said, the reason why I wasn't on social media for a long time was because I felt like I was a failure. Like I didn't want people to see how crappy my snake setup was. I didn't want people to see how crappy maybe I didn't have the best cages or the best lighting. I didn't want people to see my failures. But I just kind of got over it. Like if you have to start somewhere. And I just felt like, you know what? I'm just going to start sharing with people. I'm going to start sharing with snakes, and I'll let it grow organically. But I spent a long time being very scared to show anyone, because I just felt like I look like an idiot. I look like I don't know what I'm doing, because I haven't been able to figure this out. So thank God that I figured some things out, and I'm still learning. But if this could do one thing, I'm not really a huge podcast guy. I want my snakes to speak for themselves. I don't want me to speak for myself. But if I can encourage the people out there that are where I was and that were struggling, that's why I wanted to do this, is because like it is hard. I have been there with you. I do know what it's like, but that's why I like mentors, like learn from someone that's been there, learn from someone that wants your best, that has your best interest. Because when I do send a snake to someone else and they do email me, like what you're saying, email me back and say, look at what I made. There truly is no better thing, because not only does my bloodlines of my animals and my dreams live on through them, but they're having the same joy and the same feelings that I had, from the despair of the unknown to the questioning yourself. Like I made this video the other day on my subscription page, and I was just telling people, like, I don't think you really understand what it's like to be a breeder. I spend most of the year being like, are my temperatures right? Is my humidity right? Are the snakes growing well? Are my rodents good? Are the snakes breeding? Are they going to breed? Are they going to ovulate? Are they going to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all these questions that are in the back of my mind. So when you actually open up the cage, like what you're saying, and you see the live babies, like, and then not only you have it, but someone else has it, like that's it. That's why we all do it. And that's why I say we're all in it together, because it's hard. It really is hard. And when you do have success, cherish it with all your heart.
And again, the hard thing to try to, like, especially when the person's in the moment, like being inside your own head could really fuck with you, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because like, you know, we're competitive people. We play sports, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we want to show results. Like that's what it's all about. And I got to tell you right now, buddy, like I had nowhere to hide. I started this podcast career 6 years ago. And so, you know, it was tough, bro, because every time I talked about an ovulation and then people were like, what's up with the clutch? I had to tell them what happened. And I would be like, you know what? I fucking lost the babies, or this happened. And eventually, bro, because how outspoken, I understand, like, you know, speaking for a living, you are going to piss some people off. And
Yeah.
I would have some people like kind of comment and joke like, oh, MJ sucks at chondros. He can't get them to go. And like a lot of that times it got to me, you know what I mean? But I had people in my circle, I had mentors that went through the exact same shit that I went through. And that's what made me get through it. Was like, dude, you're not alone. And you know, even though you didn't feel it at the time because you're stepped away from social media, you weren't alone either, dude. Like, it's not embarrassing to fail at something that you love so much, because you're not the only one failing. There's a lot of people out there failing, dude.
It's so silly now that I kind of can look back on it, and everyone, hindsight's 50-50, but it really is so stupid that looking back on it, because like, I don't know if this is going to come across right. I watch a lot of anime, and I'm a big anime fan, and pretty much a lot of anime, the storyline is failing and training and failing and training and failing and training and self-doubt, and then breakthroughs. That's why I love anime so much, because I can relate to it. Like, I'm like this, when I watch it, I'm like, oh, this is my life. Like, I suck. I've sucked for a long time, but I had a small step forward. Okay, well, the next year I'm going to do a different training technique. I'm going to try a different husbandry technique. So I don't know why. It just took, like, I turned 40 this year, and it took for me this whole time to realize, like, why would I be ashamed of myself? I have kids. My kids are getting older. My kids fail. I have talks with my kids about life and failing. Like,
of course,
they may see, I don't know what they think about me, but life is nothing but failure. You will have successes, but you know, you played sports. We all played sports. Like, trying to relate to my daughters about failing, and then thinking of my snake failures. Like, now looking back on it, like, everyone does this. Everyone goes through this. There are some people that maybe they've had a lot less than others, but the growth and the struggle to get to where you want to be, it's what everyone has. So I really do wish that I would have opened up more, but I'm going to give it to people now. I'm going to
look how you are, bro. Your energy is second to none, bro. Like, you show your passion simply by showing yourself on your social media, dude. And it's very, very, like, it catches me. Like, and I know I'm not the only one. People want to be a part. People want to be a part of what you're doing. And the thing is, it's like, dude, like, everyone has their own journey. Your journey was being stepped away from social media because you were going through it. And that's not a bad thing at all, bro. Like, there's some people out there who are so full of themselves where they just want people to see them. It's about them. It's not about the snakes. And that, again, this is where an era of 2026, people need to realize, if you're coming into the reptile hobby, let your reptiles do all the talking for you. You don't need to come across as a certain person. You don't need to fucking put narratives out there or do these kind of reels to make yourself seem like, just let your fucking productions, let your snakes do the talking for you. And I'm like, if it wasn't for the podcasting, bro, I would not be on social media so much. I would not. Okay. But it's a part of what I do, and I love it. It's fine. It you know, comes with the territory. But at the end of the day, my animals do the talking for me, bro.
Yeah. I think that's the best way. I know I probably sound super nerdy, but I just think that's the best way to go about it, because that's what we're all here for. And I really don't want it to be about me. I do want to help people in a very real way, and I do want people to see kind of the process of the cleaning and the feeding. That's why I've tried to post more videos. But I'm just here for the snakes. I'm the owner of Lowkey Boas, but I'm just here to make really cool snakes. I don't want it to be about me, but in a very real way. I do want to show the world my hopes and my dreams. So that's where I'm at. So it's a difficult balance, but and I don't, you know, I just don't ever still feel like I'm a master. I know everything. I still ask questions to some friends, and they have better ways to go about stuff. So I'm still learning, like I said, but I just feel, as long as you're still learning and you still realize, like, you haven't arrived, then you're in a good spot. Like,
dude,
I hope I always feel like this. So,
well, dude, living is learning. If you're not learning, you're not living, dude. And I've spoken to people well off in their 60s and 70s, and you don't ever stop. Like, the whole figuring shit out, even in life in general, not even just snakes. Life in general is all about continue to learn and figure shit out. And it all goes through stages. Like, you know, just because you're not in your 20s or your 30s doesn't mean you stop fucking learning. And I've met some people who act like they've learned it all. And I'm like, I never want to be like that. Like, I never want to come across as somebody who has nothing else to learn. I've done it all in life. And that's why I love the reptiles, because the reptiles keeps me humble, bro. Like, I am constantly in a stage of, I need to learn more. I need to learn more. And it, dude,
I think you're 100% right. I think you're also, I'm a firefighter for a living.
I was gonna ask what you do you're a firefighter, bro, dude.
Yeah, I work for. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I absolutely love it. But you're talking about constantly learning. So in my profession, it's the same thing. Like the guys that think that they know everything, you know, every day I go to work, I can learn something new. I can get better at something. As long as I'm in that frame of mind, and that's the same frame of mind I apply to my snakes, I'll be good. I'll never feel like I've arrived. I always know there's someone's better. There's someone that's better than me. There's always someone that's smarter than me, and I'm fine with that. But if I'm on the path to improving, and I'm working and I'm putting in the work, if I'm not putting in the work, then I can be ashamed of myself, and I can question myself. But if I'm putting in the work and I'm genuine about it, then I know I'll be okay. Because at least I got here, at least I got to this point of being able to consistently produce snakes. But there are still things I can do better. Like I mentioned earlier, I had all these snakes for a long time. It took me until 2 or 3 years ago to my best friend, one of my best friends, John Bannister Boas, just was literally like, "You're underfeeding your females," and I was just like, "Holy crap!" Like you're right. I was feeding them, you know, large rats. I should have been feeding them jumbos, and even some of my females need to eat rabbits. And it was just that one little light switch of like, God damn, like you're right, man. Like why did I never realize that? Like why am I having such problems getting weight back on my females?
Chaz, how many years were you already keeping boas at that point? How many years in were you when he told you that?
I was keeping boas for 19 years, and I'd been breeding snakes for, when he told me this, for 13, 14 years. Literally. I was literally like, oh, I'll just feed this female 2 large rats. I had some females that should have been eating 2 or 3 pound rabbits. And he was like, hey, try this out. Hey, think about this. And lo and behold, like he was 100% right. And you know, you can learn something. And this is him right here, actually. He's crazy. But this guy loves snakes just as much as I do.
Right on.
That's
right
him,
there.
right?
Right there, the green.
Right, yeah.
Okay, cool.
He loves snakes. He's obsessed, and that's what it takes. The same way me and you have, like, you just have to, that waking up in the middle of the night, that putting in the hours, that being vulnerable, you have to be obsessed with it. And
obsessed, bro. Obsession.
You really do. You really do.
Yeah, that's what all leans do, man. I got a wrap up topic for you, and then I have some hot seat questions for you, Chaz. So for anyone out there who's coming from a different species and they're questioning the market in the boa game, what do you have to say about the current state of the boa market right now? How do you feel about it? Is it strong? Is it is it going through a dip and slowly going back up again? Like, what can you tell us about the boa market?
I think the boa market is maybe recovering from a little bit of a downturn. It's pretty stable. Here's the thing. It's really difficult, but I would advise people that are coming into boas for the first time, do a lot of time and do a lot of research into what do you like. And then from there, kind of expand on what's the best bloodlines, what's the best morphs, create your own avenue. But I think that right now, boas are good. If you're working with certain morphs that are a little bit different and unique, I think people are doing really well. I will say right now, as of this year, I've never seen more snake litters and higher quality than I've ever seen. Snake Country, James Gladden, John Bannister, all these guys in the US, and even guys, Imperator Morphs, they're all producing the most beautiful snakes. I've studied and I've seen snakes for 23 years. I can honestly say there's never been more beautiful snakes in a variety of projects than what I've seen this year. So I think it's going to be a hallmark year for boas. I really do. The snakes that you're going to see still to be produced, I think are going to be absolutely amazing. So I think it's definitely on the up. I would just encourage people, before you invest, be really selective and have an idea of what you want to be a part of or where you want to go. Like, know where you want to go, and then kind of figure things out. Just don't jump in blindly. But I do think the snakes, boas are on the up, and I think this year you're going to see some amazing stuff. And there's a lot of projects and a lot of potential out there. I'll say that.
Beautiful, man. Well said. Well, man, these 2 hours went by quick. I got these hot seat questions for you.
Yeah.
The way it works is, just as quicker the better. The quicker you can answer, the better it is for the hot seats. Okay.
I'll do my best.
All right, guys. Do me a favor, smash that like button. Okay, we're at the end of the podcast, and we're gonna end this in a true Trap Talk fashion. Hot seat questions for Chaz. Chaz, you ready for these hot seats?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Frozen thawed or live?
Fresh killed. Damn it. Okay.
That works. So frozen thawed, but fresh killed.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. First thing you would feed a baby boa?
Pinky or fuzzy mouse.
Red Chondro Neo or yellow Chondro Neo? If you had to pick a red. Oh, I love it. Woo, this guy already knows what he's doing. All right, cool. Yay imports or boo imports?
Yay.
Okay, one reptile you would import to your collection anywhere around the world. Let's say space didn't matter. A dream reptile. What would it be?
Lace monitor.
Oh, I love it. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. Yay alcohol or boo alcohol?
Yay.
Favorite alcohol beverage?
I love an old fashioned. That's my favorite.
Oh man. Yay sports or boo sports?
Yay.
Favorite sport?
Football.
Favorite football team of all time?
Raiders.
No, he's a Raider fan. Let's go. Oh, dude, Raiders all day, every day, bro. You cut me, I bleed silver and black. I swear to God.
Hey, man. Right. That makes my day.
Yeah, me too, man. We just became best friends. I swear to God.
I appreciate it.
Favorite Raider player of all time?
Oh, man. Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson. Yeah, Bo knows. All right, cool.
There
cool.
you go. Actually, goddamn, hold on. It was a short time period, but Randy Moss. There you go.
Okay, yeah, dude, Mossified, man. Right, what a way, dude. He came later after Minnesota and just killed it. Like, I'll never forget that era, bro. I'll never forget the Moss era period growing up. That was the best, bro.
It was amazing to watch.
Yeah. Steak or fish?
Steak.
Favorite cut?
Ribeye.
Okay, there it is. All right, I love it.
Let's
all right.
go.
West Coast rap or East Coast rap?
West Coast.
Favorite West Coast rapper or rap group of all time?
I mean, I would say Tupac.
All right, can't go wrong with Tupac, man. Even though Tupac was from East Coast, but he resided.
He was from the.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally messed that up.
No. But he was like
he repped West Coast.
He was West Coast all day. He repped West Coast to the day he died, literally. All right, cool. Little word association. You got to say the first thing to come to mind.
Okay.
Milk.
Shake.
Substrate.
Aspen.
Favorite boa incomplete dominant.
Labyrinth.
Favorite boa recessive.
Leopard.
Least favorite boa incomplete dominant.
Motley.
FedEx shipping.
Yes.
Instagram trolls.
I can't even wrap my head. I can't even wrap my head around it, dude.
No comment.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say.
All right, last one. Last but not least, first thing to come to mind. Coolest reptile network in the world.
Trap Talk.
There it is, baby. You nailed that, man. You nailed that.
Thank you.
If people want to get a hold of you, Chaz, they want to reach out, they want to subscribe, where can people reach you at?
Just at my Instagram page, you can message me. I am on MORPHMARKET. I don't have many ads up, but yeah, just Instagram. I would ask people, it's just me. Bear with me. I do have a full-time job and a large family, but I do my best to get back to people. I'm not trying to ignore anyone. If I do happen to miss anyone, please treat me with some grace. But
yeah,
to all you guys that have supported me and subscribed to my page, and from the bottom of my heart, I genuinely appreciate and love you guys. You don't know how much it means to me to just be in the position I am, and to have a positive effect on people. So I promise you from the bottom of my heart, I will do the best to keep it up. And I just want us to all have a good time together, make great boas, to share in it together. And I'm just living my dream, like absolutely living my dream.
Well, man, if it's one thing you reminded people out there is make reptiles fun again, dude. And that's exactly this is a great episode. I know this won't be the only time. I got to tell you, man, I'm bummed out, but Dave really wanted to co-host with me on this episode. And, you know, I love Dave, but I'm like, you know, I needed a one-on-one with you, bro. Like, and I'm glad we did, but I think round two got to be me, you, and Dave for sure. We got to bring you back.
I can absolutely do that, man. Maybe when I have some other stuff to show, I would love to come back anytime you need me, brother.
All right, guys. Well, for now, guys, please, I'll put all the links to Lowkey Boas in the description below. Go follow him on Instagram. Go subscribe. But do me a favor, give it up. It's a wrap for Chaz. Lowkey Boas, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Thank you so much, Chaz. Hey, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you later,
Absolutely.
man. All right.
Absolutely, MJ. Thank you so much.
Later, man. Dude, that guy is awesome. That gave me chills. I'm not going to lie, dude. It's not every time I get to have someone on where I could just feel the passion, you know, like I could just feel the love for the animals through the screen. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna have to replay this episode. Hope this inspired you guys as much as inspired me, because the reptile hobby is the best hobby you could be a part of if you love the reptiles. And this just proved it. All right, guys. So again, please go give him a follow. If you're not following Lowkey Boas and you like boas, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go give him a follow right now, and even go subscribe. Okay. Clearly this guy has been through it, and he's willing to teach a lot of people out there. So go check him out. Can't wait for that round two. But yeah, guys, for now, hit that like button. If you're not already, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, select all. You'll be reminded every podcast released at the network 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, fresh reptile content from the network. Okay. Quick message from the sponsors. And just a heads up, guys, Trap Fest is next Friday. Okay. If you want details on Trap Fest, come join the Trap Talk Patreon. Very first link in the description below. More details there. And I cannot wait to see all my trappers next week. It's going to be epic. With that being said, I'm only doing one podcast next week on Monday. Then I'm taking the rest of the week off, focusing on my homies who are coming in. Don't be mad at me. All right, guys, episode 771 in the books. Quick message from my sponsors, and I'll see you at the top. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but a quick word from our sponsors. Shout out to tonight's sponsor, brought to you by ZooMed.
ZooMed is proud to be supporting the Trap Talk Reptile Network. At ZooMed, reptiles are our passion. For over 48 years, we've been creating premium foods, supplies, and habitats for reptiles and other exotic animals. We're a company made up of hobbyists that test our products on the hundreds of animals that we care for here every single day. Whether you're an established breeder or a first-time hobbyist picking up your first ball python, ZooMed has you covered with everything you need to keep your animals happy and healthy.
I'm excited to talk about this new product with ZooMed called the Slither Sense. It is a remote temperature and humidifying monitoring system, which we all know how important temperature and humidity is to your reptile. And for you to have remote access to your temperature and your humidity in your reptile room could really, really be a game changer for the longevity of you keeping reptiles. So guys, make sure you check out that product. Find the link in the description below. Click on it right now. Give me your feedback in the comments below. Let me know how you're liking a brand new ZooMed product. Shout out to tonight's sponsor, Workshop Reptilium. Josh Hansen is doing things different over in his facility. He has one of the most diverse, beautiful reptile collections currently in the reptile hobby today, but he is doing things differently when it comes to enclosures, thinking outside the box, giving these reptiles bigger enclosures. I feel like it's something this hobby needs. So a lot of exciting stuff to come from Workshop Reptilium. I'm going to be flying up to his place to give you guys a deeper look into his facility. And I'm also excited to have an episode with Josh so he can explain himself where his goals are headed when it comes to keeping. Thank you so much, Josh Hansen over at Workshop Reptilium. Make sure you head over to Instagram. Make sure you head over to Facebook. Also, make sure you subscribe to him on YouTube. You can find all the links in the description below. Again, thank you so much, Josh, over at Workshop Reptilium. Shout out to Focus Cube Habitats, the #1 PVC enclosure in the reptile industry. Hands down, everything you guys see behind me are 3x2x2 PVC design enclosures by Steven and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats. My entire room at this point, all Focus Cube Habitat enclosures, and that is for a real reason. My reptiles love them. I've had majority of these Focus Cube Habitats behind me for over 6 years now. So guys, if you're looking to expand your reptile room and get yourself some new enclosures, no better place to visit than Focus Cube Habitat. You head over to focuscubehabitats.com and see how many different design enclosures you could choose from. And you can also follow them on Instagram and stay updated with all current new enclosures on their YouTube channel. So thank you so much, Stephen and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats. and I think I got new enclosures in the driveway, so I gotta go. Shout out to Folks Q Habitats, you are the best. Thank you for all the fellow support. Thank you so much for anyone who watches the Trap Talk Reptile Network. Hit that like button. If you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. You'll be notified of every new episode dropping here out of the network 7 days a week. And also by hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, it pushes this network out to other new keepers coming into the hobby. So by you doing that, it does more than you think. So thank you so much again for all the support. And if you're not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. We're doing big things over here and we really appreciate it.